Adam Watson.
I'm Julian Watson.
This is the Darkslinger Mafia Power Hour. Today we're taking a look at Gunslinger Spawn issue number 1. I've read a lot of Spawn comics, but very few of them are comics that have came out in like the last 5 or 6 years. So I don't have a lot of backstory on what this is. Do you?
No.
Okay. What do you think of the cover?
I like it.
I think the cover is awesome. The script and plot in this is by Todd McFarlane, with Alice Cott doing additional plot script. The artwork is by Brett Booth, Thomas Nachlik of Magnus Arts, Philip Tan, Kevin Keane. Inker is Adelso Corona, Daniel Henriquez. Colors are by Andrew Dalhouse, Nikos Koutsis, I don't know, Marcelo Iazoli, Marcelo Maiolo, and FCO Placencia. I cannot be saying half these right. And the lettering is by Tom Orachowski. Okay, so yeah, it'd be nice if there was an actual breakdown on which stories are for which of these, because like there's clearly different artists at play in each of the stories that are in this, but it just lists the artists. It doesn't say like pages blah 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 through blah 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 or this story by this. Yeah. It's not a very good way to do the credits, just right off the bat. The layout of the page is nice. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
But it's yeah. Cover artist Robert Kirkman did one of the covers.
Oh.
I didn't know Robert Kirkman did art. That's interesting. I'm guessing this one is the Jason Sean Alexander cover. I could be wrong though, because I'm not seeing any like signatures, but that's who that artwork looks like. So it starts off just right in the middle of something that I have no idea what it is. Yeah. It tells me to see Spawn Universe number 1. Well, I would if I had it. So it'd be nice if it didn't start off this way. It starts in literally the worst way, with Gunslinger Spawn and Al Simmons Spawn in a conversation already that apparently I would know about if I read Spawn Universe number 1. But since I didn't, they just are having a conversation that like doesn't mean anything to me. That is a horrible, horrible way to start off an issue number 1.
Yeah.
But it turns out the Gunslinger Spawn has hidden a motorcycle under leaves, or at least I assume that's what he's doing, is uncovering like leaf piles that his motorcycle is in. And then he just kind of takes off on it until it stops working. So I get they think this is a cool design for a bike. It's really not. Oh. But I get that they think it is, right?
Yeah.
With tires that fat, this guy who comes from the 1800s, who doesn't know, it's pretty easy to guess why the bike quit working. It quit working because it has no gas. Yeah. He doesn't know motorcycles require gas, but he can ride this thing perfectly with tires that fucking fat. Yeah. I don't think so, but okay. And then we switch over to Taylor, who looks like a drunken Jimmy Olsen and acts like a drunken Jimmy Olsen in this. This is clearly Spawn's Gunslinger's new sidekick. That's what I'm getting out of this anyway. His friends pick him up and they do asshole things like drunk driving and go around puking in their own car. I mean, why isn't he drawn to be... There's no top on this car. He could have been puking out of the side of it. Yeah. Instead, he's puking in it, which is really gross. And then he gets dropped off somewhere that I'm going to say is a store, but it doesn't look like one. Nothing about this reads store, but it says 2 dogs for 99 cents. So this seems to be the job he just blew off, and it's drawn the same, so I'm going to say so. Yeah. When he notices something in the shed, there's mysteriously a shed here that has a makeshift fence around it. I'm not really sure what the fuck is drawn there. But when he goes in, he's greeted to a sawed-off shotgun being put in his face by Gunslinger Spawn. Design of the character is cool. I get that all spawns need like this suit. I do like that his mask is a little bit different. You know, he's got kind of like these weird jowl lines going along it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool looking. All in all, I mean, like the hat even works, despite the fact that it's a goofy looking hat. But you know, for the design, he's cool looking.
Yeah.
He looks cool. So he's all pissed off because his bike's not working, and he wants this kid to tell him how it works. The kid thinks the bike's fine just by looking at it, which is not how mechanics work. No, you can't just look at an engine unless it's got like a broken fan belt or something. You don't just look at the engine and be like, I don't know. It looks like it should run. But, you know, one of the most obvious things is, does it have gas? Because there's two things a combustible engine needs to work: fuel and fire. So, you know, what's the first thing you check? Does it have fuel? No, there's no fuel. But for some reason, telling Gunslinger that it's out of gas pisses him off because he doesn't know what gas is. So he can ride a motorcycle perfectly, but he can't understand gas.
Nobody told him that it runs on something.
Yeah. And then there's a meeting at a dinosaur place. I'm guessing this one is, this has to be the Brett Booth artwork. So I'm guessing Brett Booth just likes to draw dinosaurs. That has to be the only reason this is in there, because if not, why do we have this cluttery mess museum of dinosaurs? Unless this appeared in Spawn Universe or one of the other Spawn issues. And I'm guessing these guys are some sort of agents of hell that are meeting with an angel. I'm guessing, but I don't know that because it doesn't actually say.
It says like about 2 mafias, so.
Yeah, but one of them is an angelic mafia, so I'm going to guess the other one is some sort of demonic mafia, especially since I'm reasonably positive this guy's Billy Kincaid. And we know if you don't know Spawn lore, Billy Kincaid was the ice cream killer, the child killer in the early issues. I'm thinking he would have to be in hell, right?
Right.
So if he's on Earth, he's there as an agent of hell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, then that's Billy Kincaid. But if you notice right here, the haircut, the body build and everything, that's got to be Billy Kincaid, right?
Right.
Yeah, so their whole thing is that they are trying to take out spawns who are siding with Cogliostro, medieval Spawn. And Gunslinger has apparently thrown in with them, though I don't know how because there's nothing that really tells you that. So then we get clumsy antics of Gunslinger Spawn getting caught up in this world, like, just Google things. What's a Google? Oh, it's your phone. Da-da-da. That's not bad. He's got to get caught up on the new world somehow. But once again, he knows how to ride a motorcycle perfectly. And he's looking for twin buttes. Why is he? I don't know. But, as happenstance would have it, he's already in twin buttes. And then he gets really pissed off because the kid's like, what, can't you read? And he can't. I do like that he can't read, because coming from the time period that he's from, he probably wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
But he shows him his massive hoard of weapons that he keeps in his cloak that he made the wise choice of wearing as a jacket. It does actually look pretty cool as a jacket.
Yeah.
And, he's just like, yeah, I'm pissed and I have weapons and that's the way it works. I do wonder, will Jimmy Olsen teach him how to read? Or excuse me, Taylor Olsen. So then an angel attacks him, and the angels are really starting to look like something out of the Top Cow universe in this. I like their designs. They definitely look like something that'd be from the darkness, though. But they do look cool. They look cool. So Gunslinger hits the angel in the head, but I can't tell with what. What is this supposed to be that he's canging him in the head with?
No idea.
If I have one complaint about Brett Booth's artwork, and it's not isolated to this issue, it's in general, is so often when you see his artwork, you'll see like these multiple panels that don't have enough spacing in them to fully tell you what the action is. So, I get he's kneeing this guy in the face, but I don't know what this is. And the action would be better if it was broken up. If this were only like 2 to 3 panels max, it would actually look better. Or even like if it was different size panels, and then this one with him whipping the gun out was a small inset right here. Because it doesn't need to actually be a full widescreen panel.
Yeah.
So he shoots the angel in the wings, which is apparently sacrilege to them of some sort. And he gets all pissed off and is coming at him, but it left him open to shoot it right in the head. And apparently the only way to kill them is to shoot them in the head or stab them in the head, something like that. While seeing this, Taylor decides to take off, and he's taken off with Gunslinger Spawn's hat. Now, the one thing I wondered there is, when he was talking to him earlier, he showed him that his hat contains a big-ass knife, right?
Right.
Where'd that big-ass knife go? If you're going to put stuff in there like that, play it off to some degree, right?
Yeah.
But Gunslinger orders him to get the hat back. And then he's going to take some time showing him how to kill angels. Now, the next story in this makes this part seem really wasteful, right?
Oh.
But he shoots him in the head, or shoots him in the chest with his shotgun, which won't kill him. And then shoots him in the forehead with a gun, which does kill him, but he already shot him in the forehead with a gun, so it kind of seems pointless. And then he just throws knives at him. Okay. It's all right. I mean, like, I don't know why he's teaching this kid how to kill angels. And then they head back to Taylor's house. But Taylor does not want to go home because his pa does not like it. That's what Gunslinger says. Does not like it when he comes home before he's supposed to. Which Gunslinger points out that seems awful weird, but, doesn't really go that much into depth in it. This is where the bike is just getting more extreme. Like seriously, you expect me to believe that an inexperienced rider can turn with tires that fucking wide? No. He's going to dump this bike so many times. It's not a beginner's bike. Not at all. So once he gets home, turns out the reason that the dad didn't want him to come in is because he's meeting with a bunch of angels. Gunslinger has mentioned the black-winged angels are harder to kill. There's no follow-up on why that is. But whatever the case, he can't see angels talking to his dad, and so they've decided they're just going to kill him.
It's like a video game where different colors mean more dangerous.
Yeah, something like that. But while they're about to kill the kid, Gunslinger Spawn jumps in with knives drawn, and then it's to be continued. Now, I can see putting like a backup story in a comic, right?
Right.
But this is a front story and it doesn't even take up the whole half of the first issue.
Yeah.
I think this could have gone on a little bit longer. Maybe put a little bit more explanation in, some things like that, right?
Right.
It also just kind of randomly states throughout this comic, I don't remember the exact story that it mentioned in it, the Gunslinger is the weakest of all the spawns who have ever lived.
Oh.
I don't know why that is either. There's no follow-up on why that is. But then we get story B. I'm not sure which of the artists worked on this because it didn't list them individually. I know Brett Booth's artwork, so I know that's who did the first one. But this, I don't know. And this is basically about how spawns are left to their own devices when it comes to earning money on Earth.
Huh.
For Al Simmons, he decided to just live in an alley and eat out of garbage cans. Yeah. Gunslinger, on the other hand, though, he lives in the West. He's going to do bounty work. Makes sense. Yeah. What doesn't make sense is that the reward for this guy, dead or alive, is $25,000 in 1853. Median wage, if I'm not mistaken, in 1853 in the Wild West was between $25 to $40 a month.
Oh.
Yeah, $25 to $40 a month. A high bounty at that time was $500. Somebody who was like the most wanted person in America might have had a $5,000 bounty. 25,000, that is extreme. That's like Google's your friend. They were just talking about Googling something in the earlier story. Like, I like the artwork in this though.
Yeah.
The one thing that's kind of weird though is that this artist draws Gunslinger spontaneously having a smile through his mask.
That's weird looking.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy looking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it looks bad, but it's weird looking. So he finds some guys who are hung and decides to give them a burial, which is nice of him.
Yeah.
And then goes and takes the head bad guy, landman, whatever in this area, like the land baron. I do like the way the guy's drawn to just not give a fuck that a gun's being pointed at his head.
Yeah.
And then he makes him ride on his horse out into like a hot desert where he's hidden ropes in the ground that are hanging all of his sons. That's kind of a really fucking weird way to show that. Like, why didn't he have these guys under the ground and then pulled them up for dramatic effect? Wouldn't have done the same thing if he had just already had them hanging from the tree. Like, seems like he went through a lot of extra work for no reason.
Yeah.
But then he goes back to a tree that had the wanted sign on it and rips it in half. I don't know what that means. This whole thing started out because he needed money. Who is the guy that's wanted dead or alive?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that he went after him. He apparently didn't collect this sizable reward of $25,000. I'm confused as hell by like the ending of this.
Yeah.
And then our next one. So that story's already over. And now we're at weapons. See, these pages are more than big enough that they could have listed the credits on these.
Yeah.
Why not, right? I also don't really like the weirdly soft digital bullets in this, but, you know, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So this one, I really like that they put these little skulls on the bullets. That's a touch that actually looks really nice. And the panel being all weird and, you know, bloody like this seems more like the experimentation that Todd McFarlane used to do in the earlier Spawn issues.
Yeah.
They set it apart on the racks, you know? So this is more the shit that I'd expect to see in this. But it's going through how he's had to learn how to kill the angels. This is the one that talks about him being the weakest of all the spawns to ever walk the earth. He's had to figure out methods to do it that aren't just using up all of his magic. And what's needed for the weapons to really work is a sacrifice. The only thing he has to sacrifice is his own blood. But it's making him weaker with each thing that he tips in his own blood, because his blood contains his magic, right? Okay, I'm not sure how spawns work. Maybe they don't regenerate blood as easily as I thought. I thought they healed fairly easily. I thought the cloaks healed them and stuff like that. I thought that was like actually established in the earliest comics. But this is what I was talking about earlier. He just shows this kid all these different ways to kill these angels with one that's already dead. Isn't he wasting all the blood magic he did here?
Probably.
This whole story, everything about this one is just about him tipping his weapons in blood to make them stronger. But for what purpose? So he can waste them, apparently. And then this is probably my favorite art of the whole entire issue.
Okay.
A small gift. So this is also set during the time that he originally walked the earth in 1848. And a kid at a tavern is being made to take a drink over to an asshole. The asshole's drawn well. His hat's drawn well. Everything's done well here.
Yeah.
It would be cool if it had some of the panels like in the previous one. I like the panel design better in the previous story, but I like the artwork better in this one.
Definitely.
So the guy's just being a total prick, and the kid is the son of the bartender, and the bartender's not even standing up for his own son. Somebody's got to, otherwise this guy's gonna rough him up or something worse. I don't know what he's up to exactly.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden a knife goes through the air and takes out part of his ear. That's pretty cool. It's effective.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's sitting there scritching a design into the table. Don't know what it is. Don't know if I read Spawn Universe.
Yeah.
But this is a cool double page spread.
Definitely.
This actually works really well. And Gunslinger is basically telling him, let the boy go or I'm going to fucking kill you. But the guy's too stupid to realize that's what he's saying. So he decides to challenge Gunslinger to a duel before the sheriff comes. Gunslinger tells him, go ahead, take the first shot, but then says he changed his mind. I like that. Walks over to him and puts his foot on his throat. Now, the one thing, like, of course in a comic, you can still have the character talk while their throat's being stepped down on by Boot.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that in a movie. He would have tortured him a different way, right?
Yeah.
And you may not see that in a comic that wasn't written by Todd McFarlane, honestly.
Yeah.
But, hey, sure, he can still talk while a Spawn is crushing his windpipe. Why not? So, he then tells the dad what a coward he is, in fewer words, but, still.
Yeah.
And then gives Tobias, the boy, a knife to protect himself with. And then he walks off into the sunset, a lone Spawn, looking for his next kill. And then we get these numbers that have never meant anything to me, and I still don't know if they mean anything. And then there's an interview with Brett Booth that I didn't read. And the Spawn Universe pinup on the back. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
King Spawn, I still haven't taken a look at that one yet. Or Scorched.
Ah.
This is literally like the newest Spawn comic I've read in quite some time. What'd you think of it overall?
Extremely alright.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the next issue. I'll probably get it in trade paperback or hardcover or whatever at some point. I still like Spawn. This is just yet another Spawn that I like.
Yeah.
I like more of them than I don't. But the biggest weakness of all of these will always be that Todd McFarlane decides to do his own writing.
Yeah.
This is far from the worst writing I've ever seen Todd do.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, he's a great artist. He deserves mega applause for everything he's done with his toy company, and the fact Spawn's still going. He's created such an empire and everything.
Yeah.
But he's still a shit writer. He's an absolute shit writer.
Yeah.
And this comic is no exception. Am I going to remember anything that happened in this comic? No. It's fun while you're there, but it's written like shit.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's go make some comics. We didn't create the comics that were featured in today's episode, but we did create these. Check out Ghost Assassin in the Cards and the Chihuahua Who Flew Away mini comic, both of which were written by me. The Chihuahua Who Flew Away was illustrated
by me.